What is going on, everybody? It is lunchtime, lunch with the Clydesdale. We are here. What's up, Jody? What's up, Meredith? Ken Walters, my man. Ken and I had a nice chat in the spin chat last night. I didn't know he was a card collector from long ago. This used to be a man cave where I do my podcast, and that wall used to be all signed football mini helmets that I got everyone signed in person. I went and acquired the signature from the athlete, and then I had a bunch of football cards from when I was a kid. And I'm a big Chicago Bears fan. I grew up outside of Pittsburgh, so I had two big frames. One of them had every Walter Payton card ever made by Topps, chronologically from his rookie year to even after he retired. It even included a box bottom from the 1984 or 85 set that was pristine. And then I had a bunch of the 70 Steelers in a frame, all their rookie cards framed up in a frame. I ended up selling all of that stuff off in order to buy a really good camera to be able to do behind the scenes of the Masters CrossFit Games, to be able to take on the road with me, to do different things live from events. And it really came down to my daughter didn't want any of the stuff that I had. I'm 55. I can't take it with me. And why not go ahead and liquidate those assets in order to do something that's my passion right now, which is to do this show, to do things at events, things of that nature. And so that's what I did. And I don't regret it one bit. But it blew me away when Ken said, if you ever want another rookie Walter Payton, I got 7 of them. And that's when you know that Ken is a hardcore card collector. So I thought that was really cool. But we talked about that during the Spin podcast, and I'm sure that people did not care at all. 17 of them. 17 of them. Oh my gosh, Ken. That is crazy. As a poor kid from Pennsylvania, I actually acquired my rookie Walter Payton through a dice game at a county fair. There was a card collector there selling cards. He had a game where you paid $1. You got to roll the dice. I think it was 5 dice. And whatever number you got the card that was in that slot. And the rookie Walter Payton was in the 30 slot. And I actually rolled 5 6s. And that's how I acquired the card for $1. And so yeah. And then I ended up selling it way under value. My gosh. I wish I would have known Ken was in the business. I would have talked to him about like maybe some better places to sell, but I did all my selling on eBay, and I probably sold the rookie Payton for like 160, 170, something like that. And I know the value of it, book value of it is like 300 and something, I think. Ken, am I right? But I didn't have anything graded, but I did keep them, and they were framed and in pristine condition from they were framed in the 80s and never removed from the frame. So yeah. Jody Lynn says, I will never see the number 34 without thinking of Walter Payton. I agree with you. He is my favorite athlete of all time. Yeah. Probably the reason I became a Bears fan was Walter Payton. When I was young, my parents were diehard Steeler fans. I just got sick of it, and I wanted to rebel. And so Walter Payton was my favorite player. And then, so I just picked the Bears. And that was like the early 80s. So then I caught the wave as they got better and better and ended up winning the Super Bowl in 85. And then I was hooked for life. And then it's been a horrible, horrible fandom in the last 20 years, but hopefully we've switched all that around. But man, I used to get so either hyped or depressed, depending on how the Bears were doing. When they lost in the Super Bowl to the Colts in 06 or I think it was 06. I mean, I was depressed forever. It felt like months took me to get over that game. Ken, I have over 2 million cards, probably about 500,000 are common, then other 8,000 pieces of memorabilia. That is amazing. That is amazing. Have you ever watched, I think it's called The Golden Touch on Netflix, where the Golden Group get pieces of memorabilia for auction. It's produced by Payton Manning. I find it fascinating. Having been in the world of collectibles for a while. But I think they just got bought out by a much bigger company. So I'm wondering if the show will survive or not. Oh my gosh. A graded rookie 10 Payton worth 50K to 75K. Wow. Yeah, and I sold mine for 160. Mine wouldn't have graded at 10 though. Pretty sure. But it might have been like an 8 or a 9. It is a great show. It is. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch them and how they acquire the memorabilia to put up for auction and the promises they have to make. And it's not just sports. Like there's episodes where I find a guy who has every Apple computer ever made, and then every iPhone that was ever made, and he keeps them in pristine condition. Like goofy stuff. It's amazing what people would collect. And I guess it's like moved into purses, and like if you can find Gucci stuff or stuff like that, Louis Vuitton, and all of that is on this show of collectibles. So it's not just sports collectibles. Grade 9, 10 to 15K. Gosh, man, don't say that. Oh my, I got duped. And Jody says, oh my God, that's a crazy amount of cards. It is a crazy amount of cards, and it's a crazy amount of money what people will pay for a piece of cardboard. It is crazy. Andrew Stan, or they get duped when they x-ray a sealed iPhone that doesn't actually have an iPhone in it. I did see that episode. That was crazy. Ken is actually on his way to look at a huge card collection and bought a huge jersey collection last weekend. Man, that is cool. Now I really have to go to Minnesota. I got to check this out because that would be so fun to look at. Kat must be back from her work trip, and she just finished her workout. So cool. It was fun to hear Savon give us some kudos and the channel's growth this morning, and giving Kat some kudos for her show, but wondering if her family, like her parents or her kids, watch the show. And she is so open and honest. It's fun. And then to know that her daughter and her daughter's college friends listen to the show is freaking hilarious to me. My wife actually brought up the show to me today. My wife never listens to my show, and she's bringing up stuff that Kat talked about. So apparently she listens to Kat's show, but not mine. So there it is. That's awesome. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is it was recently announced. Jody Lynn says, Kat, you need to go on the show Later Daters. That sounds fun. Ken says, it used to be a side hustle, but when I lost my job in 2020, my wife was cool with retiring and going full-time. Problem is she thought I would only be selling. Yeah. There's a reason it's called collectors and not, it's not called buyers. It's not called selling. It's called collecting. And collectors have a hard time getting rid of what they buy. That's what I learned from these shows. And I'll tell you, when I sold my stuff off, I had a really hard time with it. But at the end of the day, to me, I had to reconcile what was I going to do with it? I can't take it with me. And at the end of the day, it's just stuff. So yeah, but I still love looking at the stuff. I mean, as you can tell behind me, I love collecting stuff. So these signed CrossFit shirts and jerseys and stuff is really cool to me. And I still collect things, but I just try to collect things that are more important to me. Ken says I might be considered a hoarder at this point. It's a fine line there, dude. Fine line. So yeah. So I was reading the news, and the Academy Awards have actually changed a rule. And you're never going to believe what this is. When I read it, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. They are just like CrossFit. So the rule passed this year, not for the Academy Awards we just watched, but for the upcoming year, is that in order to vote on the nominees for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Supporting, all the big ones, you actually have to have watched the movie. Before this year, you could vote on all of that stuff and never have watched the movies. But they have now made it a rule that in order to vote on these, you have to have watched the movie. One, that boggles my mind that was never a rule in the past. Now, let's fast forward that to the CrossFit world, when you can judge a video online and not even have watched it. So we have the same rule in CrossFit as the Academy Awards had to vote for Best Picture. So I don't know, are we in good company? Or are we in bad company? Now the Academy Awards have made that rule change. And Dave said on his week in review now, in order to give a thumbs up or thumbs down, you have to give a comment. And I can't wait to see if this weekend during the individuals, they've made that change, or if they're waiting until the 26th season to do so. I am hoping beyond hope. One, I think it's going to make life a whole lot easier for CrossFit when you get legit thumbs up and thumbs down, because they have to give a comment as to why. It will allow them to sort through the rubble that is the no rep accusations much quicker when you actually see a reason, and people just can't go in there and hit a button. I think we all are clamoring for this, and thankfully it looks like CrossFit is listening. I just want to see how fast they're going to react to it. So, but apparently it took the Academy Awards about 100 years to decide that they wanted people to watch the movie that they were voting for Best Picture. And as I've told you, of movies I have seen this year that were nominated, the one that won is not what I would have picked for Best Picture. And it makes me question the validity of a Best Picture when the voters didn't even have to watch the movie to vote for it. Because the premise of I think it was Anon. Is that what I don't even remember the name of the movie anymore. Um, the premise I liked. The execution of the movie was not good, in my opinion. Where something like A Complete Unknown, I thought was executed much better for what it was. Honora. Thank you, Jay Birch. Honora. Yeah, Honora was not executed at a level that satisfied me. So, where A Complete Unknown was artistically done very, very well, and gave a good impression of what those early years of Bob Dylan would have been like. Um, and I really enjoyed that movie much, much more. So yeah. So, and I think that CrossFit now can take a step forward, and hopefully let's see this weekend that happen. So, I also filled out my Heat app for the weekend. Two's going to qualify. So I'm going to reveal what those are. It's hard. 11 is not very many spots. So when we look at the women's division, I've gone in the Heat 1 app, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Try to beat my picks. But you can see I made my Heat 1 app picks right there. I have Ariel Lowen taking first, Alex Kazan taking second, Alexis Raptis third, Danielle Brandon fourth, Olivia Kerstetter fifth, Annika Greer sixth, Amy Kringle seventh, Paige Semenza eighth, Miriam Von Rohr ninth, Emily Rolfe 10th, and Carolyn Prevost in 11th. I have missing out notables Grace Walton, Brooke Wells, Haley Adams, Maddie Sturt. I don't think Tia Toomey is doing it. Claudia Gluck, Shelby Neal, Hattie Canyo. So that's who I have for my women. On the men's side, I have Adler first, Dallin Pepper second, Hopper third, Ricky Garrard fourth, Jay Crouch fifth, Justin Medeiros sixth, Bailey Martin seventh, Sam Kwan eighth, BKG ninth, James Sprague 10th, and Jack Rosema 11th. Missing is Yonakoski, Anola Kai, Luke Parker, George Sterner, Travis Mayer, Chris Ibarra. And I don't think Rich Froning is going to do the workout, so I did not pick him either. If he did them, I probably would pick him, but I don't think he is. So those are my 11 on the men's side. Adler, Pepper, Hopper, Gerard, Crouch, Medeiros, Martin, Quant, BKG, Sprague, and Rosema. And on the women's side, Lowen, Gazan, Raptis, Brandon, Kerstetter, Greer, Kringle, Semenza, Rohr, Rolfe, and Prevost. So those are my picks for the top 11. So join in and try to beat me. Did you see the Apollo 100 rankings? I did not. And those are Barkley Dale's rankings. I like Barkley. I like Barkley a lot. And I think numbers are important. But I think sometimes Barkley's position is the numbers are more important than what you see in performance. And I'm not sure of the weight of the event, depending on when it happens during the season. And so he's made claims on some shows that I completely disagree with. So I guess I haven't dove into like his stuff yet. And maybe I need to, over the course of the next few days, just kind of see what he has out there. I'd love to see what the makeup of it. So hopefully I can kind of do some research on all of that in the coming days. I have to head home to Pennsylvania this weekend to celebrate my mom's 80th birthday. It's actually today. So happy birthday to Mama Switzer. She turns 80 today. She is an inspiration to so many people. My mom was completely out of shape a few years ago and struggled to get around. She lost 150 pounds and ended up doing 5K after 5K after 5K. Started doing some 4-milers. She's probably done 50 or 60 of those since then. She lives in a small town where there is no CrossFit, but every time she would come to visit, she would drop in and do CrossFit with us here. She's just such an inspiration, and so glad to have her in my life. And she's an amazing woman. So happy 80th birthday to my mom. And we are headed home to see her this weekend and throw a party for her on Saturday. And then I'll be back hopefully in time. Well, I will be back in time to do the Sunday night show. So that'll be the weekend. And then my wife goes in for her second knee surgery on Tuesday. So yeah, it should be fun. That not fun. But we'll get through it. And then once she gets through this one, we'll be able to go do some stuff together as a family, and like maybe go to Montana to see our daughter and actually hike up into the mountains and different things like that now that she's going to be all repaired and ready to go. Meredith, wow, that's incredible. Congrats to your mom. She is an incredible woman. That's awesome. Happy birthday. Jay Birch's mother-in-law's birthday is today as well. And Ken Walters, hell yeah, Mama Switzer. That's some boss stuff. It is. So, Ken, I get so tired of people saying I'm too old to start that stuff. You're right. I mean, my mom was in her, when she started that, she would have been mid 60s. So 65 probably when she started her fitness journey. And here she is at 80, still going strong. We had the stroke a couple weeks ago. But she's bounced back from that. She's back to doing her thing. Like nothing ever happened. Just on a blood thinner to make sure it doesn't happen again. So there's that. What else? There were some Q&As that came out. The Barbell Spin posted about the in-person or in-affiliate semifinals this weekend. They allowed the athletes to ask questions, and they answered the frequently asked ones back in a written form. And so, two, I want to highlight, the Barbell Spin has highlighted these as well. Can you explain the backfill process between the in-affiliate semis and in-person qualifying events? And where this gets tricky is the in-person affiliate events are this weekend, yet the leaderboard does not finalize until May 19th. So that's where things get tricky. So the French Throwdown, which is held from May 9th to the 11th, and the Fittest Experience from May 16th to the 18th, actually come first chronologically in getting spots to the games. So if you go to TFX and you get one of the spots to the games, and then the in-affiliate semifinal, you finish in the top 11, your spot will be backfilled in the in-affiliate semifinal because that leaderboard came after TFX. So if you are an athlete who gets their spot either at the French Throwdown or at the Fittest Experience, that is where your qualifying event will be. And then if it turns out you finished in the top 11 in the in-affiliate semifinal, that spot will get backfilled because before the leaderboard finalized, you already got your spot to the games. I hope that makes sense. Because yeah, that can be a little bit confusing. And like I said to Carolyn this morning, I get the concept, but man, it's just another thing we have to explain in the process of this season. And I think that makes things way harder for us to grow the sport, the methodology, everything because of all of that. The other big question was that overhead walking lunge with the dumbbells and them not being able to touch. And the question was actually asked during the overhead walking lunges, if the dumbbells make contact with each other accidentally, is it a no rep? And the answer from CrossFit was no. As long as the dumbbells are not held together, brief incidental contact will not be penalized. Brief incidental contact is when the dumbbells make contact either with one or both heads and then are separated. If the dumbbells remain touching, the reps will not count. So that's been a big question because the standard in the overhead walking dumbbell lunge is the dumbbells can't come together. Well, they can come together like that, but they can't come together and hold. So I'm trying to get it where you can see it, but they can come together. They can come together and bounce, and that's fine. If they come together and hold, no good. So those were the two big questions going into the weekend. I'm glad that CrossFit in writing has answered those so that everybody is on the same page. And I believe they get to start the workouts today, 5 p.m. maybe. I don't know. That's usually when stuff happens. But the workouts were out earlier this weekend. They got the answers to these questions, and it starts sometime today, where they'll be able to go ahead and start putting some stuff together. I thought, and then yesterday we talked about MetFix a little bit, and Greg did talk about it somewhat yesterday on the Savon show. I went back to listen to that after I was advised by people in the chat that Greg had talked about MetFix and the competition stuff. And I get it. I think he believes, this is my summation of what he said. I think he believes that CrossFit has lost its way as being a health and fitness company. And it's geared more now towards the sport than it is to the health and wellness of the everyday athlete and the affiliate goer. And what MetFix is trying to do is fill that gap that CrossFit has lost its way on. And Greg even said that he believes it started to lose its way under his direction, under his ownership. And so he wasn't blaming anybody else. I think he was blaming everybody involved that he let it get let it lose its way and get off track. And I think now he has tried, this MetFix is trying to get everything back on track as to where it was at one time. And if you look at the website for MetFix, it's very obvious that they are trying very hard to align mind, body, and wellness with the belly part. And I think that there's no mention of sport on the MetFix website. It is all about everyday gym goers getting healthy and fit again. And I think the way he said it was pretty well done yesterday. So, yeah, it was a good listen. I had to run a couple errands yesterday afternoon, and that part of the interview filled my time enough to go do all of those. So that was pretty nice. And thank you, Aaron Frazier, for pointing me in that direction, because it did answer some of the questions I had yesterday. So I think with that, That's about all I have. I did not throw my dart today. So here we go. And I didn't even aim, and you can tell because I missed the dartboard altogether. But I did hit the cork board around the dartboard. So there it is. Pretty big dud to end the week on. Well, I'm not even ending the week. We have one more day to go tomorrow. But with that, that's my show for today. I've got to get back to work. You knuckleheads get back to work, and we'll see everybody tomorrow on lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye, guys.